everyone, welcome to Not Too Shabby Shop. My name is Tracy and I think we'll make a card today. So I'm going to be using the Desert Dreams, part of the Not Too Shabby Shop box of the month. And I'm going to use a little bit of the ephemera, I'm going to use one of the stamps, and I'm going to use the paper. And we are going to make a mini slimline card. So I was looking for a way, and so my mini slimline, by the way, is 6.5 by 3. I've hand cut some of the white edges off the ephemera. It's just me, you know, I just don't want the white edges. Sometimes they're important to have, but for this, they're not. So we're not going to use them. And there's a piece of paper in here that is the most beautiful paper that I want to use, and I don't want to lose any of that beautiful desert. So I'm going to pull it out of the paper pack carefully because I tend to rip them, and I'm going to trim it down. And what I'll trim it down to is I'll start at the top, and I'm going to just trim it kind of where I want it at the top. The total I'm going to have it is 2 3/4. So we're right here at the top. So I want to slide that down because I want some of those beautiful stars. And then I'll flip it over and I'll cut it down to 2 3/4. So we're cut down more on the bottom. Let's get that straight. And I like to line it up with the chopper there. And she's ready to go. Okay, and the rest is just so easy, y'all. Here's some great leftovers, and I do keep them. I keep it all. So I'm going to use my Barely Arts glue, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue this panel right down to the card base. Super easy. I really love both of these sets that came in the Box of the Month kit. So cool. And this one could be used for masculine or feminine, in my opinion anyway. So we'll get that glued down, make sure all the glue is nice and smooth and stuck down. And then I'm going to take a little piece of mint tape and I'm going to tape it to the inside of the card in like a little loopy thing so that the card will stay shut while I'm designing it. Yeah, for the most part. I mean, it is mint tape. It does pop up sometimes, but this does help out with just keeping it flat on my surface here. And then I'm going to take all my little pieces here and I'm going to decide where they're going to go. So what's going to happen here is some are going to pop up and some are not. That's simple, but we're going to get ourselves a nice dimensional look here. So we're like looking into a forest. And of course, I love this little skull with the cactus growing out of him. He's just super cool. Let's grab a flower. And, you know, this is the way I do. I just move things around until I'm pleased with how they look. I think I might want that one there. I'll change my mind multiple times. I think this little blue one will go back behind. All right, let's go ahead and start getting some of these down. So I've got some foam squares, and I have some thicker ones, and I have some thinner ones, and I'm going to be using both so that we still continue to get the, you know, multiple levels of dimension on this card. So some of the stuff, like this cactus, is going to go on these slimmer profile foam pads. I don't know how to say it. The thinner ones, I guess. Yeah. Anyway, I've got some black ones here I'm using, and I just grab what I grab. If it's white, it's white. It's black, it's black. I don't care. We'll glue this flower flat down. We'll tuck it underneath there, and then we're going to pop him up on some of the higher profile foam tabs. Nope, apparently we're going to do them on the lower ones. Oh, we're going to do both. Okay. This way he sits evenly because he's going to sit partially on top of that cactus and then partially on a flat surface. And this ephemera is nice and sturdy. Well, we're talking, it's probably 110, 120 pound. It's very sturdy ephemera. It's nothing flimsy here at all. Nice shine to it, beautiful stuff. All right, let's do flower here. I'm gonna go here with the lower profile ones for this flower. Sometimes I overdo it a little bit on the foam squares, but yeah, it is what it is. All right, whoops, that's where that flower is going. Like it or don't. Now I'm going to pop the cactus up on a higher profile, and what I do is I just take my scissors and I cut a row in half, sort of, and leave it on. And that way I can just pick the little pieces off with my tweezers and set them down. Oops, that one didn't want to come apart. There we go. Come on, you sticky little booger. Get off there. Okay, and then I'm going to take the lower profile and put it on the side that's going to go on top of the flower, and put the higher profile on the other side. So that again, it sits, you know, rather even. So super easy to do this, and it's a beautiful card. So with hardly any work at all, and if you don't spend the time fussy cutting the ephemera apart from its white borders, then it's even faster. And then you have more choices of what you can work with too, because like that bouquet of flowers that I showed you at the beginning, I wouldn't begin to fussy cut that. It's just, there's too many parts that are too thin and it would wreck it. All right, let's put the flower and the two leftover flowers, and all we have left to do is our sky and our sentiment. So there's our dimensional card. And then I was going to put this moon on, but I end up changing my mind because, you know, I need a place to put my sentiment too. So I'm going to leave the moon off, and I'm just going to glue a couple of stars on here. I think I'll pop them up a little bit, some of them. Glue some down. I don't want to pop them too high though. Put one there. These are the cutest little stars. And I'm trying to get 3 different colors, so that it's kind of cohesive with the design of the card. So again, some I will glue flat down, and I think I pop one up. I don't remember. I'm doing this voiceover like, I don't know, weeks later. Okay, this one's going flat down. This one's going flat down. Yeah, imagine maybe the big one is too. Yep, those are all going flat down. But you could pop them up. Yep. Now all I have left to do is my sentiment. Just make sure those are good and stuck down. And then I'm going to use a little bit of the Nouveau Clear gloss, frosty, stuffy stuff on the stars. And really the camera doesn't show the twinkle of it, but it's there. And it sticks to the stars just fine, so that made me happy. All right, we're ready. So I'm gonna grab a stamp now from the Desert Dreams, and I'm just gonna use the word dream. And I haven't even opened these stamps yet. There's gonna be so much. I'm gonna stay so busy the rest of my life with all this stuff. I'm gonna use the word dream here, because that desert scene is like a dream. Like, you wouldn't necessarily see that at night unless you were dreaming. So it fits perfectly. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to silver heat emboss on black cardstock. And I'm going to do it on a piece of scrap paper, because why not? And I'm just kind of thinking about for sure, because I really like that blue in there too, and I kind of would like it in a blue. But I don't have any blue for embossing powder. And I want the black paper. So, you know, you have to, I couldn't use like a colored ink and hope for it to show up. It wouldn't. All right, so I'm conditioning this stamp here just by rubbing on it a little bit. And you can see where I made a mistake. So I usually do a couple of stamps with my embossing powder and embossing ink, so that if I make a mistake on one, I've got another one to work on. So I'm just going to use my Wow embossing pad and go ahead and stamp down. Okay, that looks good. They both kind of look good, so we'll see. And I'm just stamping lightly. I'm not doing any massive pushing or anything, because I don't want to distort it. So just move that aside and get this thing heat embossed. I had just cut spiders out of that the other day. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper here, and then I'm going to dump my embossing powder. Now, it looks like I ended up using white and not silver. Put a little tab there. And then all I'm going to do is put heat to it, and I will fussy cut this out. And just a reminder, if you do the box club of the month, you do save 18%. So, yeah, it's a great value. And like I said, enough stuff to keep me busy for a long, long time. Get 2 pads of paper, you get 2 packs of ephemera, you get 3 stamp sets, you get some little dealy bob, what are those things called? You know, the pretty things that you put on your card. Words are hard. Yeah, you get those. And you get a little piece of candy. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. And let's go ahead and fussy cut that. See, I can't tell now looking at it. That might be silver. Yeah. Well, it's either silver or white. It's one of the two. I think it's silver. So here I go. I'm just going to kind of fussy cut around that word dream because I don't want it to take over the card. I don't want any big flags or banners. I just want a small little sentiment on here. And those of you that know me, I don't tend to put sentiments on the fronts of my cards. I mean, it will if the sentiment is the focal point, but typically I don't. Don't ask me why. I don't know. All right, so I'm going to pop it up and try and decide where I want it. And here my hand is in your way, but we'll go ahead and... All right, so I'm just using one of my thin foam strips here to go ahead and attach this sentiment. And I always like to use my tweezers, but right here I'm trying to use my fingers, and I'm fighting with it. Probably because I sat and looked for my tweezers forever, and they're buried deep within. See, here I am looking for them again. There they are. See, they were buried. But I like to use those because it helps me keep it straight and, you know, keep my chubby fingers out of the way. I'm just going to slip a little dream right in here. Let's make sure I get that on straight. And that's it. That's the card done. We've got ourselves a beautiful dimensional little card using the paper and ephemera from the Desert Dreams. Hope you like this video, and if you do, please give us a thumbs up and make sure to visit Not Too Shabby Shop to get your own paper or box of the month. Have a good one. Bye-bye.